All right, I think I'm on. I think we're on. I think we're ready to do this, huh? All right, so I think I'm on. Let me pull it up. There we go. There's me. Hello, me. Type in the chat, make sure everything's pulling up. There we go. Here we go. That's right. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, how's it going? Let me turn on the fan here. Hold on. It's a little warm in here. All right. So, what shall we talk about today? You guys got a lot of questions going on. Debbie, happy birthday. You know what? I did not know. I have it on here. Debbie's birthday, my first line of business here to wish you happy birthday. On your birthday, you are here sharing time with me. In fact, how about a happy birthday song? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Debbie. Happy birthday to you. There you go. All right, so lots of questions. Already questioned. The Muffin Man saying, pow, hit me with them questions, Matt. Okay, I'm going to get to your questions. But first, I got to Kanye West you and get some of the questions answered that you guys put on the list last time. So here we go. Jedi Alkalite. Are there any stories that you'd like to see into the Legends banner that weren't already in production at the time of the buyout? I actually talk about this in a Prince of the Universe episode. I do not know which one. I looked it up and I couldn't figure out which one it was. But yes, I want to hear about what happened between Crucible and the Legacy comic books. I would love to hear that storyline about the ends for Luke, Leia, and Han, their children and their children's children, and all that. Dark Phoenix, is there an actual reason why Disney doesn't seem to want to release Legends books in the hardcover, or are they just too lazy to do more than one edition? If they do reprints, they're going to be paperback. They're going to be paperback. You don't reprint a hardback book. When you re-release a movie on DVD, you know, it gets a new DVD makeover. It doesn't go back in theaters. Yes, every once in a while, a 30th edition or 20 years edition will go out in theaters again, as they did with Timothy Zahn's books. But that's very rare for them to reprint something that's, you know, was printed a long time ago in hardback form. So it looks like paperback's all you're going to get. Now, if the other hardbacks, like those 3-in-1 omnibuses that were from Science Fiction Book Club, are so hard to find, I mean, you may just have to drop a dime on those, brother. I hate it because I know if you're trying to get everything in hardback, you want hardback editions. I do, at least. That's why whenever I go out and I see a hardback edition of those 3-in-1 Science Fiction Book Club things at like flea markets and garage sales, even though I already have it, I have a short stack and I can't, it's somewhere around this room. I have a short stack of those that I just keep, and I think I may give some away, maybe, you know, do a giveaway on the channel one day about it. But I always pick them up because I know there's someone out there who needs them. Don't start sending me lists. I don't have that many, but yeah, I don't think they'll ever come out in hardback. Brendan, one of my favorite questions of the day. What kind of music do you like? Everything but country, Brendan. Everything but country. And opera, of course. But yeah, I love listening to movie scores. Movie scores is like my big thing right now. I listen to tons of movie scores all the time. And I listen to bands that make their own musical scores. They make scores for trailers. Two Steps from Hell and Epic North. Oh, I mean, it's great thematic music when you're playing a board game too, but yeah, those are some of my favorites. I mean, Rock Band. I did a Saturday Morning Salmon Flange episode about this. I like Weezer. I've always been a big fan of Weezer. Newfound Glory. So those are just a few of them there that I like. And actually, oddly, I listen to classical music a lot now too. My dad made us listen to classical music. You know how your parents gave you homework over the summer? Like, schooling doesn't end. We're going to give you something to do over the summer. Read this book, or, you know, well, it was always read this book. Usually it was read this book. But then Dad wanted to change up something. He said, okay, you're going to be listening to music. We're like, yeah, rock on. Dad's like, no, you're going to listen to Mozart, Handel, Vivaldi, and Bach. And we had to listen to these 4 CDs, I remember, for the whole week. You had to listen to one a day. And then on Friday, I think it was, Dad would play a track from one of the CDs, and we have to tell him who was the composer. And it was kind of annoying, and we hated sitting there listening to music for like an hour or whatnot until we could finally go out and play. I think reading a book was much better. I loved reading a book. But now it reminds me of my past. So I have, memories, old memories, nostalgia hits me when I hear classical. And I guess because I like musical scores, I can appreciate classical music. And I'm serious. I've listened to Amazon Prime has this, I don't know, it's like 6 hours of, it can't be 6, it's got to be 4 hours straight of classical music. It's one big deluxe CD thing. And I have listened to that more than once when editing videos and whatnot. I love it. I love it. And I listen to it sometimes at work. If I'm not teaching class, I'm listening to classical music. So classical too a lot. But movie scores and soundtracks, that's what plays in my car 90% of the time these days. I just love that. Do I listen to audiobooks? No, I do not. But Bruce, that's all he does. Bruce doesn't read. He listens to audiobooks. I don't. I've heard like maybe one or two, but I like the good feel of a book in my hand. I don't even like doing ebooks that much, but I do love a book in my hand. Let's see. Kid Creator, should I read Darth Bane, Dynasty of Evil first, or Thrawn Trilogy, Book 2, Dark Force Rising? Well, Kid Creator, I'm hoping you read the first book in the Thrawn Trilogy. And if so, you should go ahead and finish out the Thrawn Trilogy. Then read Darth Bane. Because Darth Bane doesn't impact the Thrawn Trilogy. So, also, which trilogy do you think is better? The Matt Wilkins trilogy or the Yub Nub Adventures? Yub Nubs, probably. My trilogy would not be that interesting at all. In fact, on a podcast, on a buddy of mine's podcast, the host and the guest host started talking about me, and they said, I wonder what Matt Wilkins' love life stories were like. And then the host said, well, I bet they weren't that exciting. He's right. It's very boring. So probably the Yub Nub Adventures then. Finally, do you think Qui-Gon Jinn is an underrated character? Yes, I said that during my Jude Watson reviews of her Jedi Apprentice books, and I still think that. From the Jude Watson books, I love Qui-Gon Jinn. She defined him better than the movie did when you think about it. And I wanted more Qui-Gon Jinn, definitely. But if it ever happens, it needs to be Jude Watson who writes about young Qui-Gon Jinn, because she's just fantastic. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Star Trek Discovery TV show? I am talking about this on the podcast Prince of the Universe this coming Monday, I think is the one we talked about it on. I love Star Trek, as you guys know. I've seen all the movies. I enjoyed the new trilogy. I liked the first one. It was okay. Second one was awful. And the third one was great. Beyond was really good. I do plan on watching Discovery, but probably just the first episode, because I have heard it is a lot of fans. And it's funny that you obviously, I think your name's Toxic there. You visit the Star Trek fan pages, huh? I moonlight on there every once in a while just to see what the feel is. And yeah, the feel is a lot of people are worried about Star Trek Discovery because appearances of species, sexuality of main characters, like you mentioned there. Yeah, when something gets too PC, there's no story. We made this character this way, because we wanted to have this. We wanted to have this. We got to have this person, this person, this person, all representative. It's like Spider-Man Homecoming. Gosh, it was a great movie, but there is no school that is that diverse. I mean, it looked like a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger episode to me, where all the kids are evenly, in each little square, and gender and, area from around the world is represented at this school. That's kind of silly. But I mean, I guess that's just the thing today. But you know what? It's killing Marvel comic books. Marvel comic books is doing that to their stuff, and it's killing their fans. They're getting killed in comic books right now. DC's killing them for the first time in years. DC's outselling Marvel. And that's because Marvel went way over the edge. They let snowflakes and such social justice warriors dictate what their stories are like and what their characters should look like. We need to have more women. We need to have more minorities. We need to have. Okay, it's fine if you have women and minorities, but give them a purpose. You put them in, and see, George Takei actually said that he hated the fact that they made Sulu gay in the new movie. He said, no, He said Roddenberry played him straight. He said, that's how I played him. You don't need to make him gay. And it was like, oh, how dare you? We thought you'd be happy there's a gay character in Star Wars. No, because you're using his as a gay character, you're using that to define him, and you're not giving him a regular character. I had a regular, Sulu was defined by me, not by his sexuality. And I was like, wow. And like the whole world was like, oh, they want to get mad. If it was anyone else saying that, they would call you a bigot and a racist and every other word. But when it's George Takei saying that, what they couldn't say that, well, all they could say is, we're very disappointed that George did not appreciate our idea, our tribute to him, and it was very nice. And he's like, no, you're just putting him in there just so you can have a token gay guy, or a token black guy, or a token minority, whatever it is. Don't do that. Write good characters. If you write great characters, it doesn't matter what their skin color is, what their religion is. That doesn't matter. Focus on the character. But these days, we have to be defined by our sexuality, our religion, our race. And that only further divides us when you make movies like that. Okay, off the soapbox. I'm going to watch the first episode. I don't know if I'm going to watch any more. I love Star Trek, but I don't know if I can deal with that. I'm in the majority on that. Brendan, they're going to have a Star Wars TV show before the sale happened. What do you think? What would have been a good Star Wars TV show with the runtime and budget? Actually, Brendan, if you recall, they actually, before they got bought out, they said that was a no-go. I think, now don't quote me, I think it was Star Wars Underworld is what it was called, about Coruscant. Lucas had approved 50 scripts or something, and then they canned them because they were just too expensive to shoot, and it wasn't deemed, what's the word? It wasn't deemed feasible for TV, so they gave up on it. But do I think a TV show would work for Star Wars? Yes, but you don't have Jedi in it, and you don't have main characters, and they don't do much. Maybe you have one about a bunch of X-Wing pilots. No, A-Wing pilots or B-Wing pilots. You know, something random, and just having them going out there to fight the Empire. It's just a squad of people. Call them Squad, Omega Squad, or well, that's something else named. But to call them, something else, the Hammer Squad or something. And that's who we're following. I think that I would enjoy. But they didn't have to do much. So let's see here. Go to I got my live Q&A up. If I follow this along on Kindle, if I follow this along on Kindle, I find it's a lot easier for me to. Oh wait, no. Where can I look at the comments? Last time I was on my Kindle, it let me follow along in the comments. Oh, dadgummit. Well, where do you comment? I'm sorry. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to forget about this. This isn't working. Did I answer your question? Yes, I did. What do I think of Natalie Portman's acting ability? Man, I'm going to find those comments. Maybe they're there. Nope. Maybe they're there. Hold on just a moment. Let me try to find these comments. I'm not signed in, but I should be able to look at the comments. Oh, well, that's not working. All right. I think Natalie Portman's acting ability is pretty good. I like her. I think she's a good actor. I had a crush on her back in the day. Who didn't, right? And funny story, actually, I was telling my buddy used to get on the phone. We used to talk every once in a while. And he was telling me, I kind of say, oh, man, she's so good looking. He's like, yeah, man, she's not your type. She's not your type. I was like, whatever. Yeah, she's Natalie Portman. She's my type. What are you talking about? And we kept talking. And one time I was talking to him on the phone. He said, yeah, Matt. He said, you keep talking about her. Man, she's really not that nice. I went, what do you mean she's not that nice? He went, yeah, she's really mean to her fans. I went, what do you mean? He went, well, I mean, she was at a restaurant and a fan came up to her and asked for an autograph, and it was a little girl, and she said, don't you see I'm with my friends right now? I have a personal life. Thank you very much. I'd ask you to respect that. And it was really mean what she said to that little girl. I was like, dude, where'd you read this? He went, no, I saw it. I said, you saw Natalie Portman? He went, well, yeah, we went out to eat. I went, wait, you know Natalie Portman? He went to school with her at Harvard. He didn't tell me this. I was like, wait, you knew Natalie Portman this whole time? You didn't say anything? What? What? He's like, yeah, well, Matt, I mean, she's just not your type. I was like, wait a minute, what? And he was really weird because he was a neurologist, brain surgeon. And he kept telling me, Matt, you should totally come do this with me. I said, what? Brain surgery? He went, yeah, Matt, it's really not that hard. Yeah, Archer, it is hard. He was just really smart, but I guess he assumed the best of everyone. He thought I could do brain surgery. Yeah, right. Um, and have I heard about the new KOTOR fan-made remake that's in development? Yes, I have. I don't know anything else about it, but people have told me about it. Remember, folks, I missed the bus on KOTOR, so it doesn't get me as excited as it does everyone else. I do acknowledge that it's a very impactful thing within the expanded universe, but I just didn't play it that much, or not at all. Okay, let's see. Rashawn, you said, do you think Abeloth and the Ones are based at least partially on H.P. Lovecraft's character Cthulhu? I think it's based on a few other religions, but yes, it could be Cthulhu. And do you think the name for Jaina Solo was derived from the term Jaina or Jain, given to a follower of India's classical religions called Jainism, which promotes vegetarianism and nonviolence? I've never heard of that before, so maybe. That'd be a question for Timothy Zahn. And then finally, I got a board game question. Do you consider chess a board game? Yes, I do, and I love me some friggin' chess. I'm not that good at it, but I can beat anyone here. They don't really know much about chess. Actually, Bruce's on Saturday morning, Prince of the Universe, Bruce's kid is actually the chess champion at his school. And he's 17 now, 16 now, and I can still beat him. We haven't played chess in a while, though. I think it's been a year since he and I sit down for chess, but I can still beat him. So I'm decent. But he's still a little kid. He's learning. I did get beat, though, the last time I played, because I played early. It was early this year or late last year. It may have been around Christmas. We went and did some flea market shopping, and I remember I went up to the guy, and I was asking a question for my wife, and he was putting together a chess piece, a chess set, and I just moved the pawn, and I asked my question. When he moved his pawn, then I moved mine, and we kept talking back and forth, and I finally got the answer. I said, "Hey, are we really playing this?" I mean, "Yeah, if you want to." I was like, "Okay." Well, I had such a bad setup because I didn't think we were really playing. I was just playing, goofing around. So I couldn't recover. He beat me. Actually, the kid was actually really good. I shouldn't make excuses. He beat me. I took his queen out, which gave me a fighting chance, but I played stupid the first few moves. I didn't know he knew how to play chess. I thought he was just setting it out to sell it, you know. But and you know what? I'd play that kid again because in chess, you want to play the people who are better at you, because better than you at it, because you're only going to get better by playing someone who's better than you. I thought I was the best for years, and then I was not that good. Some kid came in, I say kids, a guy my age came in and beat me bad, and I was like, oh man. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Has it been a while for you to play chess? Because I kept telling him how great I was at chess. I've never lost a game. That's because I never played anyone who knew how to play chess. And so I said, no, man, we need to play more. I want to play you every day. So every week we play chess, and I never beat him, but we got to a stalemate. And he said, good job. And then he didn't want to play me after that. He'd turn down games because he was afraid I was going to finally beat him. I don't know. Maybe I was, but I got into a stalemate, and then he stopped playing with me. He shook my hand and said, good job, and then never played again with me. So, crazy. Anyway, Luke Skywalker. Hey, Matt, love the channel. You're the Albert Einstein of EU knowledge. Thank you. My question is regarding the clone Luke Skywalker. When you read the Thrawn trilogy when he was introduced, what did you think of him? Actually, Luke, in my second Star Wars video, I actually talk about Timothy Zahn's trilogy, and I actually bash it. Now, let me, for the record, I love Timothy Zahn's trilogy. I think it's one of the best ones out there. But it's everyone, a bunch of haters at the time were saying how Zahn's trilogy was the only good thing to come out of the EU and everything else was garbage. I went, really? They say that cloning the Emperor from Dark Empire was garbage. Yeah, where have we seen clones before? Oh, we first saw it in Timothy Zahn's trilogy, and it was Luke spelled with 2 U's. Now, you can't tell me that if you're saying that the Emperor's rebirth, because the Emperor's trying to get everlasting life. We find that out in episode 3. He wants to live forever, be eternal. And obviously, he thinks having clones is the way to do it. That's why he has an interest in clones. Everything makes sense that he would clone himself and bring his Force essence in there. It makes complete sense to have the clone Emperor. But yet people mock that. They say that's stupid. And yet they accept Luke with 2 U's made from his hand. Okay? I'm not saying I don't like Timothy Zahn's trilogy, but that, if you look at dumb things for clones, that would probably be dumber than the Emperor. And then what was the other one? They don't like the Vaughn. Vaughn was stupid. an alien species that exists outside the Force. That's so dumb. Well, you first saw that in Timothy Zahn's trilogy, right? The Ysalamiri, or whatever they're called, the worms that created the Force bubble that live outside of the Force. I mean, it's just so funny how they defend the Zahn trilogy. Like, that's golden, but everything else was garbage. Yet the things they say they hate all happened in Timothy Zahn's book first. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So, and it says, secondly, I don't know if you read any of the canon comic books. I do not. But would you want to see the evil clone introduced? I would veto the idea. I think they need to get their own ideas. But they own the rights to all the EU stuff, folks. They're going to pull and put pieces together from it. And I have a theory on that. There's another question on here, and I'll talk about that later. Anyway, 2 questions. Ray Blitz says, have I seen the film Balto? No, I don't think so. If I have, I forgot it. And is Wildlife of Star Wars any good? Should I get it? You know what? I don't have Wildlife of Star Wars. And what did I have instead? I had something else that had basically all that had. But it looks good. It's cheap online. So, yeah, go ahead and get it. I mean, if you're into the wildlife, that's the real Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, right? John says, Matt, have you wished that you could travel to an alternate dimension where Star Wars was a flop and you could see the low-budget movie version of Splinter of the Mind's Eye? I would love to see that. I would. And it says, do you worry that if the Legends universe were continued, it would not be restored to its former glory? You go on to say a few things. Everyone asked me this question. I trust Del Rey. I trust Del Rey. Hear me out. You're saying, well, Matt, those books are terrible. Well, look at the authors. They're not new. A lot of them are new to Star Wars. A lot of them aren't a good fit for Star Wars, obviously. Okay? But Del Rey's getting new authors to try new things. I'm totally for that. I think that's what they should do. If they were to do Legends, I truly believe they would bring back Stackpole. They would bring back Troy Denning. And they would bring back some of those authors who are already familiar with that universe and let them build. And plus, they would have more free reign since it's an alternate story. They could be more bolder and do other things and ignore all the events from episode 7 and on. So I don't think, I would be very positive. I think Del Rey would take good care of a Legend storyline because they know how much that story means to fans. You know, we get worried about Disney, but I don't think Disney or Lucasfilm, if they made Legends books, why would they care? They're non-canon. Do whatever you want. And I think Del Rey would keep everything in that same continuity because they know fans would get it. So I have a lot of faith that Del Rey would make that happen and that Lucasfilm Disney would not care because it's non-canon. Why regulate non-canon, right? That's not going to impact you. That's how I feel. What would I consider as the golden age of Star Wars? You said it's 91 through 2005, peaking in 97. I'm going to cheat, John. The golden age ended in 2013, at the end of or 2014, when the last EU material came out. We had it great, folks. We had it great. We were living in paradise, and we were arguing about, you know, specks of sand on the beach. I remember back in the day, the forums were rife with, oh, I hate Kevin J. Anderson. We love Kevin J. Anderson. I hate Karen Traviss. We love Karen Traviss. And now we don't even have those fights anymore. We're just thankful for it all, right? I still don't like Karen Traviss. But you're thankful for it all. And it actually brought the group together, if anything. So I would say the expanded universe, man, those years were just great all the way through. I mean, you could, if you want me to do it, I'll say 91. Starting with Zahn's trilogy, but moving on all the way up to 2014, I had a blast. That was my peak of loving Star Wars. I told this to someone yesterday. It's not that I don't like, well, I don't care for Star Wars anymore. The new stuff. I just don't care for Star Wars. If I see a Yoda cap, I'm going to keep walking. I mean, it's not necessarily dealing with the new stuff. It's just Star Wars in general is fading from my popularity. Now, I love the expanded universe. I love doing those videos. And every time I talk about it, I'm having the best. That smile is authentic, man. I love talking. I mean, obviously, I'm doing this Q&A. I love talking about the expanded universe. I love talking about this. These books. That's what I love. That's what I love. I'm pointing to my bookshelf over there. That's what I love. I love those books. Those are awesome. And that stuff I can get excited about. That stuff I have a really zeal for. I really do enjoy talking about each story, recounting every adventure. Eventually, I'm going to read all the way through it again. It's going to take me less than 30 years because I can read pretty fast and pretty good. But I plan on reading it all again and enjoying it over again. It's just one big, great story, rife with continuity. So for me, it's the whole expanded universe. John, that may be a cop-out answer, but it's true. I think it is. Brian says, thanks for the shout out. Hey, folks, I forgot to mention a few other things. Go to Amazon Smile and sign yourself up to donate to the Twin Sons Foundation. Brian, I keep forgetting every time I go to Amazon when I order something, I forgot to go to Amazon Smile to order it. I finally did that, so you should have gotten a few dollars or cents from me yesterday, and that's what I'm going to go to, folks. Not only does this help the Twin Sons Foundation, it's at no cost for you, and hear me out. I don't know if this is true, but when I was going through the old website, I noticed I wasn't on Smile. I was like, how's it know to? Because I was like thinking, well, I've been ordering a lot of stuff. Is it connecting to Twin Sons? And then I found out you had to be an Amazon Smile, which is just like Amazon, just it's the donation page. And I was like, oh, rats, so I've been on the wrong page this whole time. Well, on the old page, it said that it calculated what I had to pay. It calculated tax, and it calculated shipping, which it was going to be shipped on I can't remember, Monday or something. Well, when I went through Smile, it did not charge me tax, and it moved my shipping up to come in sooner. And I was like, wait a minute, does Smile lower give you quicker shipping and not have to pay sales tax? I don't know. It was on the old one when I loaded it up, the regular site, and then when I went to Smile, it didn't charge me sales tax, and it said that my package would be in a date earlier. And I was like, really? I'll let you know if it comes in early. But that's what they said. So definitely get Amazon Smile. Definitely go to the Twin Sons Foundation. Brian, I'm so sorry. I'm so stupid because you've told me that for like 3 months straight, and every time I do a monthly update, I have forgotten. But do that, folks. It's really good. All right. Oh, halfway done. I haven't gotten these. Oh, here we go. Okay. Q&A, Matt. You mentioned I mentioned in a past Q&A the release of unpublished Legends content, which you already read in its exclusivity. Any news of it today? Yes. The author of the one I read is reworking it. He wants to add more to it. It had the first time I read it, it had 170 something pages, almost 180 pages. The second time I read it, he added 40 more pages and had 220 something pages. And I think he's adding 40 more, or I don't know. This is about to be a novel. And like I said, this is the Silmarillion of Star Wars, if you catch that Tolkien reference. It's basically just a history, a recounting of all the things from Celestials all the way up, and explaining things in between. It's full, rife with continuity. And so he's reworking that, and once he's done, it will come out, and I will let you know everything about it. I find it fascinating. And there's a few other things too that may be out. I don't know. I think there's a few other things. Nothing big. Just some LostStarWars.com stuff, I think. But I will definitely let you know. Jedi Master Daniel, do you think George Lucas's Episode 7 treatment was consistent with the expanded universe? And do you think that could be the same reason why they didn't go with it, the treatments in the reboot? Yes, it is. If you look at his 2014, January 2014, Stephen Colbert interview, Stephen Colbert says, so you wrote scripts and they didn't want to use them. He said, yes. What were your scripts about? He went, well, it focused on the kids. He said, like in the books or in the novels. He said that. So was it lined up with it? Who knows? According to George, it was based off the kids, just like in the novel. So I can take the assumption that it was based off the expanded universe. That's an assumption. I've never read them. I don't think will ever see the light of day of his scripts. I don't think we'll ever see those. Disney's going to bury those. But Yes, I think that's a good. I think that's a good conclusion to come to. How would you rank all the Star Wars TV shows when it comes to quality of animation? Star Wars shows. Well, I mean, there's only two animation. Well, I mean, if you count the old Ewoks and droids, but Tatarsky's is the best by far. Tatarsky's Clone Wars is really good. Blew me away. Surprised me. It surprised me. I didn't think it would be that good. Can you guys do an article of characters that should be picked for a fan choice figure that do not already have a figure and deserve one? We actually covered this on a Princes of the Universe podcast, and I can't remember off the top of my head who all I said. I want to say I said Jason, Darth Caedus. I probably said Anakin Solo, Ben Skywalker, Kip Duran, obviously, one of my favorite ones. I'd like to see a Blue Max and Bullocks from Brian Daly's series. I'd love to see that, actually. Oh, Waru. Okay, let's get, only 30 minutes have passed and only a billion questions are in here. All right, let's catch up on it all. What do you think about the Star Wars Expanded Universe timeline posting that he wants to release 2 unpublished EU stories by the end of the year? Oh, okay. So Joe said that. Joe's going to do that. Yes. Those are the ones I've read. If he announced it, then I can talk about it. I couldn't talk about it. Yes. Star Wars Expanded Universe timeline. Joe Bongiorno's site. He's the one that he had a few StarWars.com things that he wanted to publish. He's rewriting them right now, Muffin Man, and they are going to come out, and I think they're good. Hello, Hans. How's it going? Alien Covenant. Good. No spoilers. Not good. Skip it. Would you read a new EU book if it crossed over with Disney canon? I mean, how can that be? Because they're not going to cross them over. They wouldn't cross them over. I don't think they need to. Because someone actually said for a while, what if they made a book, kind of like Star Trek, the new movie did? They kind of tied in the old series and then said, okay, now we're rebooting it all to a new one. Would I have been okay with that? I don't think it would have been necessary. I think we should keep them separate. Let's see. A Khan miniseries, huh? Oh, that'd be interesting. What's your favorite superhero movie? Is it bad that I say it's Deadpool? I love Batman. So I like the Michael Keaton Batman. That was really good. I really loved Deadpool. I really thought it was really good. But yeah, I guess that's it. Batman and Deadpool. All right. Nice bag there. Reading through all your comments. These are comments. Good. Do you watch the canceled forecast? No, Tyson, I do not. Do I like 70s or 80s rock and metal? I would go for 80s. I do listen. I forgot to mention that. I listen to a lot of 80s. I have an Echo, and I'll have it play 80s or 90s alternative. I don't listen to much 70s rock. Like I know a few of it, but 80s I love. I love 80s rock. I love 80s music, period. Oh, have I seen the Don Cheadle live action Captain Planet? Yeah, I think it's silly. How do I think Skywalker was when he died? I don't know. 80? That's a guess. I don't know. Kevin Conroy in the new Batman Harley Quinn animated film. Yes. Anything with Kevin Conroy, I'm going to watch because I love Kevin Conroy as Batman. He was really good. Does Arnold Schwarzenegger make a good infiltration unit? What? I don't know. Which Han Solo trilogy do you prefer? Well, Aaron, that's kind of hard. Brian Daly's is a classic. But Anne Crispin's is great too. I mean, I've already reviewed two of her books right now. The third one takes place years later, but they're both good, but for different reasons. If I had to pick, I guess Brian Daley's. But Anne Crispin did a great job. What's your favorite Star Wars EU thing? Thing? Is Yub Nub not EU? You know what? A lot of people give me some EU stuff in the past. One thing I really liked was the Young Jedi Knights board setup. Let me get it. I haven't shown it on the channel in a while, but I really like that. I don't have much EU stuff, but I really like. Here it is. Oh wait, that's the X-wing. Look at that. There's the X-wing one. You can see that. I can't see my camera. Stackful. And then there's the Young Jedi Knights stand. I really like these. Kind of want to put them up as like little posters or something on the wall. I had them background on some of my videos in the past. They just kept falling off, and so I stopped using them. But that's my favorite, I guess, theme. How do you think, Joel says, how do you think the Sith in the Great Galactic War led to the new Sith Wars? There is a 1,000-year period where nothing happens. I don't know, Joel. That's a mystery. I've never really thought of that. I don't know. I would be interested if they had Drew Karpyshyn writes that story. That's what happens. Thoughts on Tag and Bink, Isaac? A lot of people, Tag and Bink's funny, but I don't like spoof stuff. But I did read Tag and Bink finally. Bruce badgered me over it. What was it? Wild Space Volume Omnibus 2 from Dark Horse had all the Tag and Bink, so I finally read them. They were funny, but I'm not much for the, you know, comedic, non-serious Star Wars stories. But they were fun. What's your favorite song in the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy? In the original trilogy, I mean, maybe the Imperial March, right? That's like the most grand one. No, I'm going to be different. Let's go with the Emperor's. Now, for the prequels, that's hard. The prequel music had good stuff. Episodes 1, Duel of Fates, fantastic. Episode 2's love ballad between Anakin and Padme was really good. And then 3, the Obi-Wan, I can't remember what it's called, the Obi-Wan Anakin fight. Oh, dang, I used to know this. But that's really good too. So it's too hard for me to pick for prequels, but those would be good ones. Favorite EU era post Jedi. Thank you, Jay, for that question. I disagree, Brennan. Cloning the Emperor wasn't bad, because Anakin did bring balance to the Force. Remember, the Emperor is not as powerful as he comes back, and he gets weaker and more. I mean, because people are able to defeat him, right? If you reread Dark Empire, he's not the same, and he is trying to achieve life. I don't think it cheats it because he killed the Emperor. And of course, we know the Emperor woke up in a clone body, but he's a clone. He's a shell of himself now. And he knows that. Remember, he's burning through those clones. That's why he's trying to get into Anakin Solo to possess him, so he can have a body that won't burn out as fast. But he's weakened. He's different. I mean, balance has already been established. I think Anakin fulfilled the prophecy, and now he's just limping along afterwards. Look at, if you read Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, he does this with Saruman, right? Saruman is this grand, powerful wizard, and at the end, what is he? Just a bum trying to, Sauron? Saruman. Doggone it. It's been a while. But he's just a bum trying to terrorize hobbits, and they even beat him at the end. He's pathetic now. He's a shell of what he was. Now, does that, well, look at all that. They brought him back. He should have died back then. No, because he's a shell of himself now. So I don't think it cheapens Anakin's death. Now that's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right, but that's how I felt about it. Have you heard of a tabletop simulator? No, I have not, Connor. I'll have to check that out. I didn't know, Debbie, I didn't know Will Wheaton was writing for Star Wars. That's weird. Um, do I think Dark Horse could have done better on the last few books before they lost their license? They were kind of weak after Legacy Volume 1. Scott, that's a great analogy. I do think Dark Horse was losing it. In fact, to be honest, if they would have kept the expanded universe and let Marvel take back over, I would not have a problem with that, because I think Dark Horse got lackadaisical in their writing, and the stories just weren't that good. If you look at a lot of the later stuff that came out through Dark Horse, there was nothing to scream and jump up and down about. And you're right, after Legacy, the first volume ended, there was really nothing left to kick and scream. The second Legacy series seemed like a spin-off of a really good series, but it wasn't the same, didn't have the same characters, and it just wasn't as, you liked it, but you didn't love it like you loved the first series. So yeah, I totally agree with that. What are your thoughts on the new Star Wars book, A Certain Point of View? Nightwing, I've never heard about that one. So no, I don't know that one. Haven't read that one. As a consumer of Star Wars Expanded Universe for many years, how do you feel offended to have it thrown back at you for saying stuff didn't happen or stuff didn't care? Felt as if they wronged my childhood. You know what? James, it doesn't make me feel any different, because I mean, the only thing that made me upset was other people saying it was never considered canon, and they never read, they didn't know what they were talking about, and I was like, what? That's how I got on the whole YouTube channel to start defending it. I was like, wait a minute, guys. Because I was like, surely someone, I was waiting for someone else, these big YouTube personalities, to start there and start, defending it, and no one was doing it. I love Nathan Butler, but he gave up on a very good series, by the way. He was going through the expanded universe books in release order. So anything that got released, like Splinter of the Mind's Eye was the first book he talked about, and he was going in the release date order. Beautiful. I loved it. I love the series. And he says, and then when Disney bought it, he said, well, I guess I'm going to stop because now all this is not canon anymore. And I was like, well, you don't stop. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll do one in chronological order. That's how the whole series got started. So, so for me, that bothered me more than the other stuff. I mean, yeah, it's a kick in the teeth, and I've already talked about that, but I've moved on from that. By the way, Edward asked me about unpublished. Why am I not reviewing unpublished novels or unpublished short stories? I reviewed Abel G. Pena's 2 short stories because they came out on StarWars.com. I haven't talked about any of the unpublished adventure journals that you can find on various websites because they weren't ever published. Now, I actually talked to Joe Bongiorno about this about a month ago, if I should start doing that, because at first I was like, I'm not going to do it. And then you guys know I have Heart of the Jedi on my bookshelf. And so everyone's like, are you going to review Heart of the Jedi? I was like, well, I don't know. And I'm thinking maybe I should. And if so, I'll just do maybe 1 or 2 episodes talking about all those unpublished shorts. That's what I'll do. So I may start including those in. I mean, if you can get them. I'm not going to talk about some other stories that I have that no one else has and you can't get right now because either they're not released yet or they're not allowed to exist. But once they get released, I can talk about them, and I want something that everyone can see. I don't want to pull up something that no one else has and you can't get anywhere, and I hate doing that. I don't want it to sound like, I got this and you don't. Do I have some really good stuff? Yes, I do. I do have some great stuff. Some stuff like I've been honest with you guys. There's some stuff I've read that hasn't come out yet. I mean, they let me proofread it or look it over for my opinion. I was very thankful for doing that. I think it's some great stuff. I can't wait for you guys to read it. Not that it's super spectacular or anything. It's just more EU, and that's what matters to me. But I forgot where I was going with this. So, yeah. Woo! Let's take a sip of water. I'm thirsty, man. Would you rather someone dislike everything of Star Wars, old and new, or just like the new stuff? I don't mind if they like the new stuff, to be honest. Oh, here I was. I thought I thought I was ahead. I thought I was at the end of the comments. I was like, this is awesome. And no, man, I'm halfway through this. Wow. Okay. Factor, Med's factor. For your question, I don't care if people don't. Oh, wow. No, there it is. Yeah, there's your question. I don't care if people like the new stuff or not. If they hate Star Wars completely, that's their prerogative. This is something the EU haters do not understand. If someone doesn't agree with you, if they don't like something that you love, why argue with them? I mean, yeah, you can argue to a point going, no, I think it's really good. Here's why. But other than that, it's their prerogative whether they want to like Star Wars or not. I'm not out there to make everyone in the world love Star Wars. I remember years ago when I saw younger kids coming up, they never saw the original trilogy. And I'm like, you never saw, this is back when the prequels were coming out. I was like, you never saw the original trilogy. What's wrong with you? And then I started thinking, well, dang, they weren't even born when those movies are 20 years old at the time. They don't even know those movies. Okay, I get it. And so I just let it go. If someone tells me they hate Star Wars, they love Star Trek, or they love something else, that's fine. That's fine. I never got into Doctor Who. I find that so boring. My little nephews love Doctor Who, and they cannot believe I do not like Doctor Who. But to be honest, it's to each his own. So if someone doesn't like Star Wars, or if someone just likes the new stuff, people apologize to me all the time. Hey, man, I'm sorry, don't get mad, but I love the new stuff. I watch the new movies. I don't care. That's fine. I'm glad you like them. I'm not here to force my will, my thinking. And we're living in a world, back on the soapbox here, we're living in a world where everyone says, if you don't think like me, then I'm going to yell in your face. I'm going to yell in your face. I'm going to act a fool. I'm going to cause riots if someone doesn't think the same way I do. And it's barbaric. It's idiotic. And it is unkind. And it's so, and all these people say they're so open-minded. They're so open-minded, but they will only listen to people who agree with them. They won't bring someone else in who has a different opinion. No, yeah, they'll riot and ban them from coming into their area. And it's that is bigism. That is small-minded thinking. These people who think they're so open to ideas, they're only open to their ideas. And so if someone does not like Star Wars, or someone just likes the new stuff, and they, if they don't like the expanded universe, I have a good friend of mine who thought the expanded universe was garbage. He liked the Timothy Zahn trilogy, but he hated everything else. He said the rest of it is garbage. He's still a good friend of mine. We still chat from time to time. He's a great guy. In fact, he was the original choice to be co-host on my Princes of the Universe podcast, because I said, dude, you're perfect because you're the exact opposite of me. And I want that. Now, I do kid with Bruce, right? Because Bruce obviously loves the new stuff. And I've played with Bruce on the channel a lot. But Bruce and I are still good friends. He loves all the new stuff. Well, not all the books and comic books, but he admits that there's some garbage there. But he's loving the new movies and stuff. And he's fine with me not liking them. I mean, we don't have these arguments because we're simple-minded, calm, cool, collected. We have common sense. And it seems like the world today is so full of people who just want to just rage on, how dare you not like what I like? How dare I, and I got that all the time when people say, you will watch episode 7. No, I still haven't. Where are you now? Where are you now? I don't care if anyone else does either. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. And it's so stupid. And this is the expandinguniverse.com is back up and running. We've got 3 or 4 articles up right now. So woohoo. Go check it out. I wrote an article about, I think I called it the Boogeyman Effect. And basically, Boogeyman Syndrome. I can't remember what I titled it. But basically this whole villainization of the EU movement being the bad guy, being the one who's going to spoil episode 8, as if the internet doesn't spoil anything 4 days before its release. Everything gets spoiled, and it's not just one little person, but they feel like anything that goes on like that, it has to be the EU movement. I'm sick and tired of that, and that's just labelingism, and that's wrong. So you can read that later. You know what, Artie McFly, I've never seen Samurai Jack. I keep saying I'm going to, and I never have. Snoopy, it's up to Joe to find out when he's going to release those. That's him. That's up to him. That's his news to break. If he said he's got some stuff, then I can say it was him who's letting me read his stuff. But I can't talk about it without his permission. Now, I may be building up too much. I just love that he's doing this, that he's releasing all his unpublished material. I think that's great. But Joe just wants to make sure it's good, it's quality, and it fits with continuity with everything. Joe's very dedicated to the expanded universe. Love him or hate him, because I know some people hate him because he likes to mix canon. But other than that, though, he does have a big love for the expanded universe. Can I show my Heart of the Jedi? Sure, yeah, hardcover, yeah. Let me see. Well, I'm getting that 1989 Batman film soundtrack. Good or just the main theme? No, Danny Elfman's great, man. Danny Elfman did a great job with that. The whole thing. You know, he wrote that, the Batman Return. No, yeah, he wrote it on the plane ride back after going to London and visiting the set. He wrote the whole score on napkins on the plane ride. It's crazy. That's a good story. Your favorite board game at the moment? John. Can I wait? Will you let me wait on that? Because I'm going to do a top 100. I'm not going to do it till later on this year because I still got a few. I got 2 games that came in. I got a few more coming in September and October. I pre-ordered, and I'm waiting for all that to come in, and then I'm going to start doing my top 100. So let me get to that. I'll tell you this weekend, John. I'm playing Twilight Imperium for the 3rd time this year. I really love Twilight Imperium. That's one of my favorites. Let's see. Favorite lightsaber color? I always said it'd be orange because it looks like a flaming sword. And there's not many orange lightsabers in the expanded universe. Where is Yum Nub? Is it past his bedtime? No, he's right here. I'll get him when I get the book. Did you grow up watching Thundercats? You know I did. I'm a kid of the 80s. Cole Skywalker didn't even have gray hair, so he didn't die when he was 80. Oh, did you say Cole? I thought you said Luke Skywalker. I'm sorry. No, Cole, I'm sorry. I got that totally mixed. Cole looked to be in his 30s. I thought you said Luke Skywalker. I'm sorry, dude. Hey, Toby. Latest board game purchases. I got Laguerria, if that is name, and Cable Car in today. I have become a Queen Games fan, and I'm almost buying every book. I mean, every game they have out right now. It's really awesome. Okay, where is Heart of the Jedi? There it is. And here's Yubbs. Yubbs, take over for me, dude. Yubbs is going to show off his Heart of the Jedi hardback copy. Looks really nice. I really am glad I got this. I mean, the pages are numbered. Everything looks good. Chapter 8. I mean, it's a really great job. Beautiful looking. I mean, this almost looks legit here. It does. That's why Lulu shut it down, because it looked like a legit Star Wars book. But it's really good. So I'm really happy I have it in my collection. Oh. All right, Yub. Say bye. Bye-bye. Yum, 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 yum. All right. There you go. You're back over here, dude. Yeah, you'll see a new character tomorrow on the channel that you're going to love. I think. I love him. John, I've heard there's a few. Wait, I heard there were originally supposed to be 2 EU continuities, one for the books and one for the comics. Kevin J. Anderson united them. Okay. it spawns from an old letter column from Dark Empire. They said, "Are y'all connected to Timothy Zahn's?" I think it was that, or it was Tales of the Jedi, and they said no, because they thought the books were going to be their own and the comic books were going to be their own universe. Now they never, contradicted each other. And then Kevin James was like, "No, guys, you can join the party too. Come on." And so they brought comic books in on it. So at first, yeah, Dark Horse didn't know. And so they responded in that letter column. I think it was a Tales of the Jedi. Someone asked them, "Are y'all connected to the books?" They said, "Well, guys, we're our own universe here." And because they didn't know. And then Kevin J was like, "No, man, y'all are in on this." And they went, "Oh, okay." And it became one. So it was very early in the planning, but at first Dark Horse just didn't know. And they didn't want to claim they were and have the books get mad at them. Because a comic book, continuity thing back in the early 90s, connected to the movie as well, that was unheard of. So yeah, that was actually true. What direction do I think Sword of the Jedi was heading? Well, none, because what's her name said she didn't write it. I think it was going to, me personally, I think Jaina was going to run off with Jagged, and they were going to run the new Empire, and she was going to start the Gray Jedi. That's how I think it was going to happen. I don't think that would have been in Sword of the Jedi. I think they would have left and gone to run the Empire at the end. I think she would have left the Order and maybe started establishing Gray Jedi. I think that'd be cool if that was the case. Have I gotten a chance to ask Shannon McRandall to be a guest on the podcast? She was asked, right, Debbie? An invitation was given, but she's still fighting her stuff. She's still recovering. So we're going to give her time, as much time as she needs to recover and get better and be well rested before we're going to pursue that. But whenever she's ready, she is more than welcome to be on the podcast. I'd love to have her. I think she's awesome. Thoughts on Ewan McGregor's performance as Obi-Wan? Aaron, I actually talked about this with someone the other day. I thought it was brilliant. Brilliant. I thought he did a brilliant job. He was one of the highlights of the prequels. What's a good story? What stories are good with bounty hunters? Tales of the Bounty Hunters. Snoopy, there's your one. Would you be interested in Disney continuing Legends after the sequel trilogy is over? Yeah, of course. I'd love for them, Chrono. I'd love for them to have more Legends books. I would. Favorite moment in the original trilogy? Anything with Ewoks? Let's see. Battle of the Heroes. Thank you, Alex. That was the episode 3 song. Do you think the EU did a good job showing anti-Jedi sentiment? In other words, Jedi not playing the roles as peacekeepers. Yeah, I actually thought it did, Chris, especially in the post-Jedi stuff. They really did a good job with that, I thought. Oh, Brendan, you can disagree with me on the clone emperor. That's fine. I don't care. That's fine. I don't mind. Teach. I mean, here's the thing. Again, if you don't agree with me, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, man. Now you don't have to. My word isn't law. Some people feel one way, others feel another. I'm not here to change your mind. Just to make sure that's clear. I'm not here to say anyone's right or wrong on that. That's just my opinion of it. People asked for my viewpoint, and I gave my viewpoint on it. Ooh, Darth Bane, good deal there you got. Let's see. Which EU book have you reread the most? Isaac, I get this question a lot. It's actually the West End Games holds the record, actually, because the Dark Strider campaign. I've read that through a couple of times. I love the idea of that story or that adventure. Do I like Clue? Pat, I hate Clue. I used to love it as a kid, and I cannot stand it now. I do not like it. Used to love it. I wanted to be Professor Plum. That's who I love being. But now I just don't like it. There's better games out there. I did a review for Incognito. That's Clue on steroids. It's really good. Incognito is a fun game. Which Old Republic story is your favorite? I mean, guys, it's probably going to be Deceived, the novel. Least favorite Star Wars book, Pat. Pat, you ask good questions, and Pat, I'm gonna get to that in my reviews. I will get to that. All right, let's see here. Whoa! Whoops, I did it. I lost my place. I knew that was gonna happen. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay. My thoughts on Deceived. Look at my review. I did a review on it. I thought it was great. What do you think about the expanded universe that are released by PlayStation? And what can PlayStation do taking in Star Wars fan? I'm sorry, Michael, I don't know anything about that. Yeah, Darth Bane, you're right. A lot of Star Wars channels reject it, and they're very hostile. I mean, unnecessarily hostile. Shouldn't they love everything Star Wars? But no, if you love Star Wars EU, like they put a hex on you or something. It's ridiculous. Oh, Chrono, the book about the simulator. It's like a simulator. No, this is the one that Joe's working on. It will be released on his website sometime later on this year. Yeah, it hasn't been released yet. I have a copy because he wanted me to proofread it, and I thought it was good. I think I had one note for him. I thought one person was not in character with how he's previously been described in other EU stories. That was my only note I had about it. Other than that, I thought it was really good. It's a tough read sometimes, though. It reads almost like a history book in a way, but I loved it. And is it canon? Well, I mean, it can fit within the old expanded universe canon, but it's unpublished material. It's supposed to come out, StarWars.com would do that part 1 of 6, about this. That's what Joe was working on. Things that Jason Fry did, he was going to do one too, and it just got closed down. But he decided to go ahead and finish it out since he was already working on it. So in a way, it's unpublished. So unpublished canon. There's a title for that. Oh, Michael, I don't know much about video games. So the expanded universe. That's why I don't review them unless they have a book. I'll review the book, but I will not review the game because I'm not qualified to do that. Someone is much better than me. When will I be reviewing the Galactic Battlefield Strategy Guide for board games? Oh, the Galactic Battlefield. I probably won't. It's weird because I don't have that many Star Wars board games. I mean, Queen's Gambit is my favorite, and Star Wars Duels is right after that, and those came out during episodes 1 and episode 2, and in my opinion, those are the best ones. Now, I'm sure Rebellion's good. I'm sure there's X-Wing's good. Dylan would argue with me that Armada's the best, and I played Armada. Armada was enjoyable, but for me, Queen's Gambit and Duels is really all I need. And Ewok Save the Trees. I need that one too. All right, I'm going to give us one more minute. You got 5 bonus minutes here, so let's see. Which channels like the EU? I'd love to watch them. There's a few out there. They don't do much EU content. Some of them complain more than they talk about the EU, but there's a few EU channels out there. None of them come to my head at the top of my mind right now because a lot of them don't put out EU content anymore. But there's a few out there. TK421, why weren't you at my live Q&A on time? I'm kidding. Well, Artie, let's talk about this. Last question here, the Ben Skywalker debacle. On the expandinguniverse.com, I wrote an old article about what I think we should do about that. And we should just go back and vote again for it. I mean, Hasbro first needs to be aware of the abuse that was online about it, and the actual. I mean, it was totally underhanded and dirty what they did. But they should be reported for abuse. And then next year we come back with an even bigger force and keep doing Ben Skywalker once again. Don't give up on Ben Skywalker. I'd like to see one too. All right, folks, that is all the time I have for today. Can you believe it's already been an hour? It's already been an hour. Been an hour, 5 minutes. Been fun too. I always enjoy doing these. Like I said, you guys provide tons of great questions to talk about. And maybe we'll do it again soon. But anyway, folks, have a wonderful rest of your week, a wonderful August. I'll be vacationing soon at the beach. Can't wait for the beach. Like I said, you're going to see a little new character on Matt's Expanded Universe, a few board games, reviews, a lot when Gen Con comes out next week, 2 weeks from now. And you guys have a wonderful evening. I'll see you later. Thank you.